Welcome to ComfortTV.channel news, bringing you verified and balanced news from Nigeria and around the world. My name is Faith Kebb. Thank you for joining us again this morning. In the headlines, Minister Wike-backed PDP faction fixes board's neck meetings amid deepening party crisis. Abia lawmakers appeal to President Tinubu for Mazi Nnamdi Kanu's release as IPOB leader sues NMA for 50 billion naira. Senator Shomole Islam's ex-governor Obaseki says he failed Edo woefully. Governor Otu says Calabar Carnival is key to cross-river culture. Yowikan urges federal government to end northeast carnage. Ex-AGF declares governorship ambition in Kebb State. In business, government to triple livestock sector to $94 billion in 10 years. FNBC calls for deeper bilateral collaboration to drive sustainable growth. In the foreign scene, Ecuador rejects proposal to allow foreign military bases. China and Syria discuss strengthening bilateral relations in Beijing. And on sports, Erling Haaland leads Norway to first World Cup since 1998. Aaron Wan-Bissaka shines as DR Congo keep World Cup hope alive. Now the news. A faction of the People's Democratic Party, PDP, loyal to the Minister of the Federal Capital Territory, Honorable Nyesom Wike, is set to hold its Board of Trustees, Board and National Executive Council meetings today, 18th November 2025. The notice announcing the meeting was issued by the factional National Secretary, Chief Sam Anyanwu, who stated that the sessions will take place at the PDP National Secretariat, Wadata Plaza, Abuja. He described attendance as very important, noting that crucial party matters would be addressed. This development comes just days after another PDP bloc aligned with Oyo State Governor Seyi Makinde held its national convention. The convention, presided over by former acting national chairman Ambassador Umar Damagum, announced the expulsion of Minister Nyesom Wike, former Ekiti Governor, Mr. Ayo Fayose, Chief Samuel Anyanwu, Mr. Dan Obi, and several others. It also dissolved the State Working Committee in Abia, Imo, Akwa Ibom, and Cross River. Governors Bala Mohammed of Bauchi, Seyi Makinde of Oyo, Amadu Fintiri of Adamawa, Dauda Lawal of Zamfara, and Caleb Muftwang of Plateau were in attendance. However, Governors Fintiri and Muftwang have publicly distanced themselves from the expulsion exercise. The removal of the FCT minister and his allies is seen as the latest escalation in the lingering power tussle between Minister Wike and the PDP Governors Forum, led by Bauchi State Governor Bala Mohammed and Oyo State Governor Seyi Makinde. The Abia State House of Assembly has written to President Bola Tinubu urging him to order the unconditional release of the detained leader of the indigenous people of Biafra, IPOB, Mazi Nnamdi Kanu. The letter follows a resolution passed by the Assembly on November 10, describing Mazi's continued detention as a matter of urgency and public importance. The motion, moved by Deputy Speaker Honorable Austin Mirigini, called on the President to invoke Section 174C of the Constitution, which empowers the Attorney General of the Federation to enter a nolle prosequi and discontinue criminal proceedings before judgment. In the letter signed by all 24 lawmakers, the Assembly argued that Mazi Kanu's release would promote peace, stability, and national reconciliation in the Southeast. They also referenced President Tinubu's recent use of executive clemency as grounds for a similar humanitarian intervention in Mazi Kanu's case. The legislators outlined Mazi Kanu's detention history, noting that he was first arrested in 2015 and held for more than 2 years before being granted bail. They recalled that he later fled the country after a military raid on his residence before being forcibly returned from Kenya to Nigeria in 2021, an action the Assembly described as a violation of his rights and international law. Meanwhile, Mazi Kanu has filed a 50 billion naira lawsuit against the Nigerian Medical Association (NMA) at the Federal Capital Territory High Court, Abuja. He accuses the association and several of its members of issuing a false medical report during his terrorism trial, which led Justice James Omotosho of the Federal High Court to declare him medically fit to continue facing prosecution. In the suit filed by his lawyer, Barrister Maxwell Okpara, Mazi Kanu is asking the court to compel the NMA to conduct an independent medical examination on him by specialists unconnected to the defendants. Those listed in the suit include NMA President Dr. Baola Audi and members of the medical team who authored the disputed report. Mazi Kanu has been in the custody of the Department of State Services, DSS, since June 2021, facing terrorism charges linked to his agitation for an independent Biafran state. The federal government accuses him of making broadcasts that incited violence in the southeast, allegations he denies. The senator representing Edo North, Senator Adams Oshiomhole, has criticized the immediate past governor of Edo State, Mr. Godwin Obaseki, describing his tenure as a failure that left the state abandoned. Senator Oshiomhole made the remarks in Benin while responding to claims by the state's People's Democratic Party (PDP) that Governor Monday Okpebholo's first year in office had been unproductive. He noted that ex-Governor Obaseki carried out numerous groundbreaking ceremonies for projects that ultimately delivered little tangible results and emphasized that Governor Okpebholo inherited an abandoned state. The former governor dismissed the PDP as a party that failed to deliver meaningful results during his tenure and urged journalists to rely on verifiable facts rather than statements lacking credibility. Highlighting Governor Okpebholo's achievements, Senator Oshiomhole pointed to several impactful projects, including the ongoing flyover construction at Ramat Park, which is intended to ease traffic congestion, and noted the economic benefits of reduced travel time and fuel savings. He also highlighted that numerous projects across Edo State demonstrate the current administration's commitment to develop and counter suggestions that such initiatives are mere political propaganda. On education, the senator accused the previous administration of neglect, leaving many schools understaffed and with dilapidated facilities. He praised Governor Okpebholo for rehabilitating schools, creating conducive learning environments, and recruiting 5,000 teachers. Senator Oshiomhole also highlighted increased funding for higher institutions. He said Ambrose Ali University AAU now receives 500 million naira monthly, up from 41 million naira, helping resolve long-standing academic disruptions. He also said Edo University Iyamho has its monthly subvention raised to 250 million naira, reflecting a strategic investment in higher education. Governor Basi Otu has said that Calabar Carnival is a cornerstone of Cross River State's cultural identity and will endure for generations. He made the remarks during the unveiling of the 2025 Carnival Calabar mascot and the newly created Diaspora Band at the second dry run in Calabar. The governor noted that the mascot reflects the beauty, growth, and resilience of the carnival, which has evolved over 20 years in one of Africa's leading cultural showcases. Governor Otu also highlighted the significance of the Diaspora Band, created to reconnect Africans living abroad with their heritage through culture and artistic expression. The initiative is part of the state government's broader engagement with the diaspora through the Cross River Diaspora Commission, which has recorded notable progress. Chairman of the Cross River Carnival Commission, Mr. Gabe Una, describes the unveiling as a tribute to the state's rich cultural heritage. He recalled the October homecoming of 92 African diasporans, an event that inspired the formation of the Diaspora Band, which will perform under the 2025 Carnival theme, Traces of Time. Highlighting heritage and reconciliation, Calabar Carnival, known as Africa's biggest street party, is held annually in December. It was established by former Governor Donald Duke to position Cross River as a hub of tourism and hospitality in Nigeria. The carnival has grown into Nigeria's largest and most internationally recognized cultural festival, attracting participants from Brazil, Turkey, South Africa, Egypt, and across Nigeria. Originally a month-long event beginning on December 1, the carnival was reduced to 2 weeks by former Governor Benedict Ayade. Over the years, it has become a major platform for cultural exchange and a symbol of Cross River's identity and vibrancy. The youth wing of the Christian Association of Nigeria, Yowikan Northeast Chapter, has appealed to the federal government to urgently address the ongoing violence in the region, stating that communities have endured significant pain, loss, and displacement. The appeal was made during the Made in Northeast Yowikan Convention held in Jalingo, Taraba State, where the National Secretary, Mr. Elijah Bako, described the worsening insecurity, targeted violence, and systemic challenges as both heartbreaking and unacceptable. Mr. Bako noted that the Northeast continues to bear the brunt of terrorism, displacement, and other forms of violence, calling on all levels of government, federal, state, and local to respond with honesty and commitment. He emphasized that affected communities need healing, restoration, and meaningful intervention, highlighting global attention to Nigeria's security challenges. Mr. Bako aligned the group's stance with concerns recently raised by former U.S. President Donald Trump, warning against any attempts to downplay or distort the realities faced by residents of the region. He insisted that those outside the Northeast cannot dictate the experiences of those living under daily threats. The Yowikan leader also called on Christian leaders and communities to speak out against the violence, stressing that silence could jeopardize the future and weaken the resolve of the next generation. He urged parents and the wider Christian community to use their voices to advocate for justice and peace. Yowikan reaffirmed its commitment to opposing all forms of killings and urged the government to adopt decisive measures to restore peace and rebuild communities across the Northeast. Former Attorney General of the Federation and Minister of Justice, Dr. Abubakar Malami, has formally announced his intention to contest the 2027 governorship election in Kebbi State. Dr. Malami made the declaration during an interview with DCL Hausa on Monday, expressing confidence in his political support base across the state. He stated that he is fully prepared for the race despite restrictions on early mobilization, emphasizing his commitment to winning and delivering on the expectation of his supporters. Having resigned from the All Progressives Congress APC in July, Dr. Malami defected to the African Democratic Congress ADC. He criticized the current administration, accusing the ruling party of failing to address insecurity and implementing policies that have negatively affected agriculture in Kebbi State. The former AGF highlighted that bandit attacks have forced farmers to abandon their farmlands, resulting in declining food production. He also noted that rice mills that operated for decades have shut down due to policies favoring foreign companies, attributing the situation to negligence by both state and federal authorities. He said his governorship bid is motivated by a desire to restore security, revive agriculture, and improve the welfare of residents, stressing that his ambition is focused on the public good rather than personal gain. This is ComfortTV.channel news. Will return shortly with business, foreign, and sports news. Many thanks for staying tuned. This is ComfortTV.channel news. In the world of business, the federal government has reiterated its commitment to developing the livestock industry as a key driver of national food security, job creation, and rural income generation. Speaking at the Policy Dialogue Workshop for the evaluation of PRISMA project results in Abuja, Director of the Technical Office of the Permanent Secretary, Federal Ministry of Livestock Development, Mr. Peter Alike, revealed that the sector currently contributes around $32 billion to Nigerians' gross domestic product, GDP. He outlined the government's strategic plan for the livestock sector running from 2025 to 2030, which aims to increase its GDP contribution to between $74 billion and $94 billion within 10 years. The creation of a dedicated Ministry of Livestock Development by President Bola Ahmed Tinubu reflects the administration's focus on strengthening the subsector to drive national development. Mr. Alika stressed the importance of collaboration between Nigeria, ECOWAS, and other regional partners to achieve shared agriculture and food security objectives. He highlighted the critical role of feed and food provision for over 50 million cattle owned by rural dwellers, describing it as an urgent national imperative for survival, rural livelihood, and social stability. He also emphasized that the PRISMA policy dialogue should not be a routine event, but a platform for tangible outcomes that enhance livestock productivity and resilience. Supporting the initiative, Acting Executive Director of the Regional Agency for Agriculture and Food, Mr. Konlani Kanfitin, reaffirmed ECOWAS' commitment to livestock development and regional research. Still on business, the French Week Economic Summit 2025 convened senior government officials, business leaders, diplomats, and industry stakeholders to discuss ways to strengthen economic cooperation and promote sustainable growth between Nigeria and France. The summit held at Access Bank's headquarters focused on private sector-led partnership and strategic investments. President of the France-Nigerian Business Council (FNBC) and Chairman of Access Holdings PLC, Mr. Aiboje I.J. Imokwede, highlighted ongoing bilateral projects including the Agora project and the Omieko initiative aimed at promoting urban sustainability, environmental restoration, and job creation. The Omieko initiative, a collaboration between the Lagos State Government, French technical partners, and Nigerian private institutions, is designed to restore the Lagos Lagoon. It is expected to cut carbon emissions by 31,000 tons annually, mobilize over 100 billion naira in green infrastructure investments, and create more than 2,000 jobs in renewable energy, recycling, and sustainable tourism. The State Commissioner for Commerce, Cooperatives, Trade and Investment, Mrs. Folashade Ambrose Medebem, announced the Lagos International Financial Center (LIFC), a new platform aimed at attracting global financial institutions, driving foreign investment, and fostering financial innovation. Mr. AIG Imokwede also highlighted appointments in the creative sector, pointing to initiatives such as Creation Africa and the Tate Modern Nigerian Modernism exhibition, which promotes Nigeria's creativity globally. He further called for expanded cooperation in renewable energy, citing France's expertise in green technology and Nigeria's abundant natural resources as a strong foundation for joint investments in solar, wind, hydro, and cleaner gas solutions. Onto the foreign scene, Ecuadorian voters have overwhelmingly rejected a proposal to allow foreign military bases, with early results showing nearly two-thirds voting no, as about 90% of ballots were counted. The referendum put forward by President Daniel Noboa included 4 constitutional changes. All 4 items were rejected by wide margins. Unofficial results showed 61.55% opposed drafting a new constitution, while 38.45% supported it. The return of foreign military bases received 60.50% no votes and 39.50% yes. Other proposals, including cutting state funding for political parties and reducing the number of congressional seats, were also rejected, with 57.96% and 53.41% voting no, respectively. President Noboa acknowledged the defeat, pledging to respect the will of the Ecuadorian people and reaffirming his commitment to addressing national challenges. The referendum is a setback for the president, who had sought to lift the 2008 ban on foreign military bases to combat rising violence and organized crime. The proposal had also been supported by the United States, which aimed to reopen a base on Ecuador's Pacific coast. Moving on, China's Foreign Minister Mr. Wang Yi met with Syrian top diplomat Saad al-Shaibani in Beijing on Monday to discuss areas of mutual interest and cooperation. This marks al-Shaibani's first visit to China since the formation of the Syrian government under President Ahmad al-Shara in January, following the ouster of the Bashar al-Assad regime last December. Foreign Minister Wang highlighted the long-standing relationship between China and Syria, recalling the historic Silk Road as a symbol of enduring ties. He emphasized that China maintains a friendly policy towards all Syrians and respects the independent choices of the Syrian people. The two countries are set to mark 70 years of diplomatic relations next year. During the talks, Mr. Wang stressed that China and Syria share vast common interests and reaffirmed the principle of non-interference in internal affairs. He also called on Syria to prevent the use of its territory for activities that could undermine China's national security, sovereignty, or interest. Both sides agreed on the need to gradually resume exchange across all levels and sectors. Wang expressed China's willingness to support Syria's economic reconstruction, contribute to social development, and improve the livelihoods of its people. The meeting concluded with a joint statement underscoring the commitment of both nations to strengthen diplomatic and economic cooperation. On to sports, Norway secured a place at next year's World Cup for the first time since 1998 after a 4-1 victory over Italy in their Group 1 World Cup qualifying clash. Erling Haaland scored twice within a minute in the second half, while Oscar Bob played a key role in both goals, helping Norway complete an emphatic qualifying campaign. Haaland's performance capped an extraordinary World Cup qualifying run in which he scored 16 goals across 8 matches, equaling Robert Lewandowski's record for most goals in a single qualifying campaign. His contributions were crucial in guiding Norway back to football's biggest stage. The Manchester City striker has continued his blistering form this season, scoring 32 goals in 21 games for club and country. Haaland's dominance on the field has reinforced his status as one of the world's top forwards, as he will return to City with renewed confidence after Norway's historic qualification. Norway's qualification also marks a milestone for the national team, reflecting a stunning and consistent campaign that saw them overcome tough competition in Group 1. Haaland took to social media to celebrate the achievement, describing the qualification as a moment of immense pride for both himself and the country. Aaron Wan-Bissaka received widespread praise for his performance after DR Congo defeated Nigeria on penalties to maintain their 2026 World Cup ambitions on Sunday. The 27-year-old West Ham defender started in DR Congo's semi-final win against Cameroon earlier in the week, which set up the decisive clash with Nigeria on Sunday. In the final, Frank Onyeka opened the scoring for Nigeria before Meshak Elia equalized for DR Congo, sending the match into extra time and ultimately penalties. Wan-Bissaka dominated his right flank, demonstrating defensive solidity and composure under pressure. Leopard leader, a DR Congo-based outlet, described him as one of the best players in the match and rated him 7.5 out of 10, praising his clean tackles, sharp interventions, and authoritative defending. And that's our news bulletin this morning. A recap of our top stories. Minister Wike-backed PDP faction fixes BOT neck meetings amid deepening party crisis. Abia lawmaker appeals to President Tinubu for Mazi Kanu released as IPOB leaders use NMA for 50 billion naira. Senator Shomol Islam's ex-governor Obaseki said he failed Edo woefully. Governor Otiuk says Calabar Carnival is key to cross-river culture. Your Weekend urges federal government to end northeast carnage. Ex-AGF declares governorship ambition in Kebb State. On business, the government's to triple livestock sector to $94 billion in 10 years. Foreign, Ecuador rejects proposal to allow foreign military bases. And on sports, Erling Haaland leads Norway to first World Cup since 1998. Thanks for watching. For breaking news, exclusive interviews and more, follow us online at ComfortTV.channel on all platforms. Remember to like and share our videos, subscribe to our channel, hit the notification bell so you don't miss out on future updates. My name is Faith Kevin. Until next time, stay informed, stay connected.